Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be listening to Den's top 16 BBU round of moments I had. So this video is going to be me testing the waters to see if you guys are interested in me reacting to more rounds from the BBU. And for those that don't know, the BBU was an online beatboxing tournament held in 2020, and there were a lot of bangers from it, and I don't really remember how most of them went. But I remember engaging when the competition as it was happening, and I only listened to each thing of them once as they were being released. So like I mentioned, I don't really remember how they went. But I'm really excited to jump into these videos. I remember Den being a really great beatboxer, so I'm excited to start off with him. But with that being said, I'd love to know if you guys would like me to do more content from the BBU. I'd be really excited to do it, and with all of that said, I'm excited to jump into this one, and I hope you are as well. So without any further delay, let's just jump into it.
Too many times I cried the day you walked away. I saw it in your eyes. All the moments we had meant nothing. Find missed calls from me. How you're wanting me. Why you gotta be so complicated now? Too many Now I got zero things to deal with. Too many times I cried the day you walked away. I saw it in your eyes. All the moments we had meant nothing. Oh. Line missed calls from me. Now you're wanting me. All the moments we had meant nothing.
Oh my gosh, dude. I understand why this video has almost 2 million views. The arrangement of this, I don't know if this is an original or not, but if it is, it's incredible, and even if it isn't, it's still incredible. But this piece is so satisfying. And the reason it is for me is because you get this perfect blend of deep bass sounds that are very grounding with his very light, delicate, lyrical voice, which creates this very light sensation. And just having this heaven and earth effect is a really engaging, connecting thread to his music. It's just one giant roller coaster just filled with airtime. It's the idea of just feeling his lyrical voice coming down with his bass drop and feeling that voice and then down with that bass and just oscillating between those two. And both of those elements just harmonize so well together, and it's just so well arranged. Like, all of his basses are so smooth and seamless, they don't feel choppy by any means. All of his musical cadences just flow into the next one, and all of his sounds don't feel like they're out of place. All of the sounds were very appropriate to the atmosphere that he was building. There were some residual sounds at the end of his basses that just delivered more of that human quality. It didn't sound completely synthesized by a computer, which I really love. I love connecting with human elements in human performances. It lets me connect with the artist, and that was just so well executed and arranged and composed if he wrote the entire thing. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he did compose it, because he said, I have 0 things to deal with. And I know for a fact that he was battling the beatboxer Zero, who's a very technical beatboxer, not as musical as Den is. So I think that was a little jab at him for that. But yeah, I'm really excited to jump into this analysis, not just so I can analyze it and pick it apart a little bit more and appreciate it more for what it is, but I just want to listen to it again. So let's just jump into it. Just immediately, in these first 13 seconds, you get this very smooth guttural kick drum. And it doesn't feel too forced. Like, I feel like I'm forcing it a little bit too hard in the way that he executed it. Like, let's listen to it again. Yeah, you can just hear the sound starting in his throat. But he keeps it so controlled inside of his mask that it doesn't feel too forced, and it still is very conservative in how explosive he wants that sound to be. We start off with the seed that just has so much more room to sprout out and grow, and I really love that choice there. Yeah, and after immediately getting that throat kick drum, if you will, you get his very light voice. La, da, da. And just having that contrast right in the beginning of the piece is a foreshadowing of what's to come throughout the piece. That kind of atmosphere between that heaven and earth connection. And I really, really dig that. And just adding these little bit effects of that really smooth electric guitar. It just flows. All of those sounds just flow so well together, and I love this atmosphere he's building so quickly. Too many times I cried. I love how hollow that sound is. Obviously, there's a little reverb in it for mixing and mastering purposes, but the sound itself is a really good choice. It's a pretty tricky sound for me, even though to produce the sound is logically simple, I guess. It's just the idea of opening up your throat and just doing a tongue click, but opening up your throat to making that more hollow sound, but to execute it so consistently and just make sure that it's still contributing to the atmosphere, it's a little bit more challenging than people might give credit for, so kudos to Den on executing it that well. I don't think I'm doing it as good as he can, but those really quick accents add so much more flair to the musical cadence. I love these accents. Little details like this really adds more depth and boldness to these musical phrases, and I really, really dig that. Too many times I cried the day you walked away. I saw it in your eyes. All the moments we had. Just before he even started his next lyrical phrase, he just added a quick breath for an accent. All the moments we had meant nothing. And just to create that breath, all you have to do is seal off your hard palate with your tongue. And your hard palate is just behind your upper set of teeth. And then you just suck in air. and you just let that air immediately flow in. You're just creating that vacuum seal, and then when the air comes in, it just creates the effect intrinsically. He didn't need to add that breath there, but he did, and it adds just that element of boldness, of a little bit of extra depth to the cadence, and I really, really love that choice.
In your eyes, all the moments we had meant nothing. Blindness calls from me.
His lip rolls are so smooth. Typically, when I think of a lip roll, I think of something like or, but his are borderline zippers, which are it's so gentle and smooth, but it feels like a kind of effect where there's not enough space for the lip roll to actually reverberate in a big way, like a where you can feel the heaviness of that, but it's just so smooth. And zippers are more concentrated forms of lip rolls. And just to have that perfect in-between and apply a pitch to it to fit within the musical cadence. Oh my gosh, what pitch accuracy and what technical skill right there. Oh, it's so nice.
Blindness calls from me. How you want to me.
Oh, and just his snares are so grimy, but it fits the context of the cadence so well. It's not very sharp and clean, but it fits this flow very well. And I really, really dig that. Instead of having it's got just a hair longer duration, and it's got a little bit more coarseness to the sound. And I actually really love that, especially since we're feeling this pure light voice and this really smooth bass. Having this coarse snare adds a little bit more texture and contrast to what we've been hearing so far. And I really, really love that contrast. It creates a more dynamic piece.
How you want to me. Why you gotta be so complicated now?
No. These little effects add so much into the flow of the next musical cadence. Really great choice.
Why you gotta be so complicated now?
Just his transition between the different basses, between the lip roll, the lip bass, and the lip basses. There's a variety of different lip basses. Could be considered a lip bass, but just transitioning between lip rolls, lip basses, his voice, and adding in these snares and modulating all of the pitches within all of those elements. So much technical skill, even though it's not really rhythmically complex at this point in the piece. It is still very technical, and it's really well executed, and it's just so clean, dude. I love it. Yeah, and also his snare is different. It's not but which again just adds a new texture to the musical cadence, and I really dig it. Oh, just the way that he transitioned from that zipper to lip roll. Like, I obviously didn't do it in tempo, but the idea is the same of just going from these different textures, from the zipper to the lip roll to this beautiful, pure voice. This is such a good example of that heaven and earth connection I was talking about, from the really grounding, foundational basses he has and the pitch accuracy he has in those basses, and just immediately flowing into his beautiful lyric voice, his light, pure sound and tone. It's just so nice, dude. It's so audibly satisfying. And I'm sorry, it wasn't a zipper, it was lip bass, so yeah, really, really good stuff there though.
Whoa.
And this beautiful inward bass. I can't even produce an inward bass. Every single time I try, I keep choking on my own spit. But it doesn't mean to say that I don't keep trying. When I first started learning the throat bass, I was hurting my throat a lot, but then I started getting the hang of it. So don't let any sound that's hard to make discourage you. Always keep practicing and trying it, and you'll eventually get a feel for it. But just the way that he went from these grounding basses into his beautiful tone and just really slamming you down into this inward bass, which is a new bass that we haven't heard yet in the piece. Really, really great choice here. And that's reflected in the visual color contrast as well. Really good choices here. And to not have any kind of powerful snare, but to just have a very gentle click there, especially after a heavy sound like that. It's a very bizarre choice, because typically when you feel bass drops, you want every sound in that cadence of the bass drop to be heavy hitting, really grounding and foundational. But we have this really heavy bass and this gentle click, very reminiscent of his lyrical voice. And again, that heaven and earth connection. Oh my gosh, what a fun ride this is.
Whoa. Too many
And his flow is just so consistent. Do 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 do. Oh my gosh, yeah. His pitch accuracy is crazy.
Now I got 0 things to deal with.
Okay, so many people might be wondering how he's making so many different sounds at once, and this is a really beautiful element to beatboxing, and I really love these sections in particular. So the idea is that his melodic line is just being made through his nose, where he's pretty well supported, breathing through the diaphragm, resonating the sound in the chest, but instead of generating all of the sound through singing, through the mouth, he's generating all of the sound directly through his nose, which gives him more freedom to generate sounds that are only produced with his mouth and the breath that's already in that space. Like if I were to do snares, I'm not really exerting any kind of resonance in my chest because all of that space is free because all of the sound is just in my mouth. So if I wanted to do a melody with snares, so if I wanted to just sustain a note and then just add different sounds on top of it, kind of effect, and then you can start playing around with different ideas like that. Like, okay, well, if I know that I can resonate in my chest and then make other sounds in my mouth, then what other sounds can I resonate in my chest while also making these sounds? Well, the throat bass is a sound that I can resonate in my chest. So then you start adding different textures to your melodic line. Kind of feeling. So I'm not that great at producing that really smooth texture that Den is, but I hope you get the idea, where it's just a matter of understanding your voice, your body, what it is that you're capable of producing in terms of sounds and effects, and saying, okay, these are mouth sounds, these are vocalized sounds, these are sounds that I can make in sequence and in combination. But however it is that you want to approach it, it's just, again, it's just understanding your voice and the effects and the sounds that you're capable of, mastering them, understanding them, and then beginning to incorporate specific combinations into your routines, which Den is doing an exceptional job of. Incredible technical work here.
Too many times I cried the day you walked away.
He put so much emphasis on that snare. It's just so powerful, and he even has a lead into it. It might appear gentle and very quick, but it's got a strength to it, which adds extra emphasis to the snare, and I really dig that.
The day you walked away, I saw it in your eyes. All the moments we had meant nothing. Oh.
Really nice recapitulation to these early sounds from the beginning of the piece. I love that.
Now you're wanting me. All the moments we had meant nothing.
Beautiful. I mean, what more can I say? The composition, the arrangement itself is wonderfully structured. It was executed superbly, very technical, but it was so musical that even people that don't really understand the complexities and nuances of beatbox can still really enjoy it. And it was just really well done. I really enjoyed it. You know, you don't need to be a professional chef to enjoy really good food. So honestly, Den, I loved how you approached and executed this piece. Really well done. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments below. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to all of them, so please just know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into consideration as I make future videos. I am currently in the process of uploading all of my content to Patreon. It is a very long and arduous process, and I didn't think it would take as long as it is, so I really appreciate all of your patience in this regard. My live streams are currently Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is subject to change, but that is what it is right now. And if you guys would like to stop by and say hey, or ask any questions about myself or the channel, I would love to be there for you guys. I want to take this time to really appreciate all of you for being here and watching these videos, and I am just so grateful for the fact that you guys are here. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.